Just this one? Is that good enough? Okay. All right, those of you who are on your phones, this is a good time to turn your phones off. You're done. There's no assistance allowed in this contest. No spotting, no cluster. This is a single operator, pure hardcore event. So open up your packages, find your log sheet. Put your call sign at the top of it and the name that you're going to use. Okay, we're going to do one thing a little different this year. On the QTH part of it, I don't care where you came from. Your QTH is a place you've always wanted to go and have never been. Just a country is good enough. So think of a country you've always wanted to go to and you've never been to. This contest. Use your real name though, because that makes it easier for me. So, for those of you who haven't done this before, this is a sprint contest. And just like the real sprints on the air, it's not a contest where you can sit on one frequency and call CQ and have people come to you. If you call CQ and someone answers you, you do the exchange, and then you have to move, and the guy that called you gets to take over that frequency. And he will call CQ, and other people will come to him. So after every QSO where someone calls you after you call CQ, when the contact is over, you have to go at least 5 steps in the room, somewhere else in the room, not in the same area, you got to move, and find someone else who's calling CQ, and you can call them. Now, one important thing is that means you have to get up out of your chairs. Yeah. And of course, Ted's the first one up out of the. Is Scott here this year? Is W5WZ here? He's not here. Oh, geez. Someone has to challenge that guy because it's between those two every year. And Ted won last year, so we need someone to beat him. TV Bob, I'm putting it on you. No, you're not in it. Ah, yeah. Who? What's that? Some people are missing the sheets in their bag. It's a single sheet. It's mixed in with all the ads and stuff, and it says something like Eyeball QSO log sheet. 2014 contest university eyeball sprint contest. That's exactly what it says. So look, you should have them. If you don't have them, grab some other piece of paper, and at the top of the paper, put your name, your call, and a country you've always wanted to go to and just never have gotten to. And then put a bunch of numbers under it, like 1 to 20 is probably good enough. I think the most contacts anyone's ever made is about 15. Maybe Ted made 16 last year because he runs faster. Okay, so someone's got to beat that guy. All right, everyone else set? You got it? Everyone got a log sheet who wants one? You know what the rules are? You got it? So should we act it out? Come over here. We got to do one quick acting here. CQ Sprint, K1 Delta Golf.
K1 Delta Golf from K3 Lima Radio.
K3 Lima Radio. Number 1, Doug Tahiti, K1 DG.
K1 DG. Number 1, Tim, Pennsylvania. K3LR.
QSL, Oklahoma. Thanks. We're off. So you got it? Okay. Contest is 5 minutes long, and it starts now. Get up, move around. You don't have a chance if you're not out of your chair. Get up.
Oh, KG4EDL from K1DG. You're my number 2. My name is Doug, D-O-U-G. And I'd like to go to Tahiti. KD4EDL. Great. Bye-bye.
Two-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the contest.
You're number 11, Ted India. Ted India. 411. You're in for Yes. What's the country? How do you spell that?
1 minute. 1 minute remaining. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Time is up. The contest is over. Please pass your log sheets in. Thank you. My lovely assistant K3LR will be collecting your log sheets. You should see him in a dress. Okay. take your seats now if you'd like, and we'll get on to the next little thing, and then I'll move on. Always the J's with the cameras, but no flash. Much better. Okay. I asked Tim for a few minutes to talk about WRTC here, and I'm going to be talking about it again at the contest forum, and then again at the contest dinner on Saturday night. If you don't have your ticket for the contest dinner, get one. It's going to be terrific. What I wanted to do was take a few minutes to talk about WRTC for everybody else, the rest of us who can't be competitors. So let me talk about it. You'll see in a lot of the press we're doing and a lot of the commentary about WRTC that we draw an analogy to the Olympics. And it really is the Olympics of ham radio, lowercase o, otherwise the International Olympic Committee gets their lawyers. We don't want to get cranked up on that. But if you look at the analogy with the Olympics, there are several different categories of people who are involved. There are obviously the medal winners. Those are the guys that do really well in what they're doing. There are all the other competitors. There are visitors and spectators on site. And with the Olympics, there's a TV audience around the world. People watch the Olympics. It's really highly rated. How many people watched the Olympics in Sochi when it was on? Yeah, everybody watches the Olympics. Okay, so I can tell you from personal experience that winning a medal at the WRTC is a thrill of a lifetime. And you can see, let me back up. Where's this button on this? There? No, not there. Not there. Whoa! Yeah, who are those guys? That's my much younger brother over there. In fact, we have a couple of other medal winners here. V3EJ, are you in the house or are you hiding somewhere? Stand up. Steinman, are you here? N5TJ, where are you hiding? He's here someplace. That's the gold medal winner from Brazil. N5TJ was the gold medal winner in San Francisco, and Finland, and Slovenia. And the guy's got a little habit there. Anyway, obviously, if you win a medal at one of these things, it's a big deal, and it's really terrific. The fact is that everybody who goes there as a competitor knows that they are representing their country, their region, whatever, and it's a huge thrill for them to have qualified to get there, and it's a big deal. And they have a great time. The on-site visitors, people who go there just because they hear that all these hotshot contesters are going to be there and they can get to meet them and maybe pick up a few licks and a few tips, similar to Contest University. It's the same kind of deal. You get to rub elbows with the champions, with the best that there are. Now, unlike the big Olympics, this is a game where you are part of it. You see, all these guys who are competing need you to work them. Otherwise, they get bored pretty quickly. With only 59 teams, they make 59 contacts, move to a few bands, and they're done. It's kind of boring. So all the guys who are not on site are actual direct participants in the event. Unlike the Olympics, when you're sitting at home on the Olympics, you can, if you think cheering for your favorite guy on the luge is going to make him go faster, it doesn't quite work that way. But at the WRTC during the IARU contest, if you get on and you work all these guys, you are helping them do better. You're helping them compete. You are part of the event, and it's real important. So they need the contacts. You can also listen for a few minutes and say, listen to this guy. This guy is going really, really fast. There's not a wasted syllable. There's not an extra dit. It's a full call sign every time. He's just rolling. What a great rhythm. Let me just listen to this a little while. Maybe a little of that'll rub off. So this is a great thing to do. You get to listen to the best in the world doing what they're doing. And you can get some awards. A little more about that in a minute. We do want you to send in your log. If you get on, you work a bunch of guys, please send your log in and do it promptly. Because the way contests work now, the log checking, it can very often determine the order of finish. At the WRTC in Russia, the difference between the first place and second place team, you know what it was? 2 multipliers. So fortunately, they had enough logs that they could check it pretty accurately. So we need you to send your logs in. We need you to send them in on time because we've only got about 36 hours from the end of the contest to declare the winner and hang a gold medal around their necks. So we got to work pretty quickly. We don't have several months before the magazine is published. We've got 36 hours to determine the winner. So get your logs in as quickly as you possibly can so that we can make the log checking better. The teams are going to be easy to find. We're doing everything we can to make it easy for you. K6TU has created a software tool that, given the exact solar flux and absorption and all that other stuff going on the day, if you go to his website and dial in what kind of antennas you have and where you are, it'll tell you what bands are the best chances for you to work the teams in New England. So it's sort of a cheat sheet of where you're most likely to find them and where you're most likely to have a strong signal and be able to work them easily. We're also making it easy to find because, and we haven't announced this yet, so this is a big secret, okay? Don't tell anybody outside the room here. The call signs you're going to be looking for are the 1x1 call signs in the first call area. We have all of them locked up. So there are 75 of them. Here's trivia for you. There's no X suffixes available in the 1x1s, okay? So now you know something you didn't know when you came in today. But we have all 75, W1A through W1Z, K1A through K1Z, N1A through N1Z, excluding X. Well, that's 75 calls. We threw out the ones that are going to be difficult to copy in summertime static, like N1E, being so short and having a dot on the end would make it really tough. So we threw out the ones that were too long and the ones that were too short and too confusing. There is a checklist which will be published in the July-August NCJ. So you'll be able to check them all off as you run through them. Oh, by the way, the other one that we threw out was N1I because it's the next shortest one of all of them. So all those calls won't be used. So that's how it's going to be easy to find. Any 1x1 call in the first call area, boom, that's the guy you want to work. That's one of the guys. Let's go that way. Awards. We all like awards, right? So this was done before we had before the cement dried on the actual awards program, which we announced last week. You all saw that press release someplace, right? We announced it all over the place. You did see it? Yes? Someone saw it? Okay. If you didn't see it, talk to Randy, K5ZD. He's in charge of all the marketing and PR and stuff, and he'll explain it to you personally. So there are several different awards. One of them, the bronze level award, is for 30 QSOs on different band modes with any of the WRTC stations. So that's a pretty easy one to get. The next level up is working all of them, getting a clean sweep of all 59. I remember back in San Francisco, N5RZ worked all the 52 WRTC stations in the first hour on 40 CW. And he's kind of a mutant, and so, we got 59. It'll be a little bit harder, and Gator will be in New England anyway, so you have a shot at beating him. So any band, any mode, any combination. And all the DXpeditions now, it's very fashionable to have the leaderboard with the most band slots, modes, days of the week, and so forth. So the guys who have the top 10 band mode totals will get special prizes. That's the gold level award. If all you do is run around and work them, you can make 590 contacts working just the WRTC stations on 5 bands, 2 modes. If so, you don't work anybody else in the IARU contest, then you'll at least work all those guys and make a lot of contacts. Last year, just for calibration, in 2013, with really miserable conditions, we had 25 stations on the air, and W5KT worked 132 out of the 250 possible band slots. So working half of them in really miserable conditions is possible. This year we're going to have great conditions. We put in our order early, so there won't be any absorption, there won't be any thunderstorms, there won't be any noise. It's going to be great. All the logs that are submitted early, but by 1600 Zulu, will be eligible for a WRTC assistant judge hat. We want to have hats for everybody because we expect thousands and thousands of you to send in your logs. We don't have enough money for thousands and thousands of hats, but we'll put you in a drawing, and some number of you guys will get hats, and you will be designated official assistant judges for having submitted your log and helping with the log checking process. You send your logs, by the way, to the regular IARU contest address. We can snake them out of there. So IARUHF at IARU.org will do it. There's one thing that I didn't put on here because we hadn't finalized it when I had to put these slides in, But anybody here chasing points in the Centennial QSO party? Oh, a bunch of you. Okay. All the WRTC stations are worth 5 points. Pump your score up pretty good. We will have a real-time scoreboard running. We tested it last year with 23 stations we had running, and it ran flawlessly for the whole 24 hours. So it'll.
Hey, I'm a computer nerd. I know how well flawless systems work the next time around.
Dave, I think we got your assistant here. Assign this guy up. He's just volunteered to troubleshoot any issues that we have because he's experienced and he knows what can go wrong, so he's ready to help. This is actually a very cool system. It's real time. It sits there and it sniffs the packets going between the two logging computers on the two stations, and it sort of listens and says, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a wind test packet with the score. I know what that is." Sends it out through the cellular network to our server. The server puts it on the website. Everybody gets to see it, and you see the scores update. And you also see that they're flagged with gold, silver, and bronze, who's in which positions at which times, and it updates all the time. So you'll be able to see stuff moving around. So that's one of the innovations. The last 3 WRTCs have all tried to do a real-time scoreboard, but we think we got it this time. Our fallback is, always have to have a fallback, right, Mr. Computer? Is that the referees will have a cell phone and they'll text in the message the score every 15 minutes. So it'll be near real time if it's not real time. The real time one, it really did work perfectly, including places where we had like no cellular coverage. But enough bits got through that it worked. Now, here's a very important request and something that I want you to take home and propagate to your clubs and all your friends. We want this to be a fair contest. We don't want you to just work your favorite team. We don't want any cheerleading. We don't want you to say, I just figured out that W1A is K0DQ and KE3X, and the Admiral's a real good guy, so let's help him out. Let's only work him. Sorry, Scott. We don't want any of that, okay? We want everybody to work everybody. Get on and make all the contacts you can. No cheerleading. If you're going to spot the teams, which will be really cool, that's great. Spot them. Don't say who they are. Just spot the call sign and let it go. We don't have to worry about that on CW. The RBN's going to spot everybody anyway. We also don't want any of these club roster QSOs, where someone from the local radio club says, "Hey, that's our guy. Let's. I got the whole club roster here. Let me just read off all the calls and give him another quick 50 QS." No, don't do that. You're heard in the ethics talk. We don't like that. We really don't like it this time. We also are going to throw out any unique QSOs, right? So if a team works one guy that nobody else works, that QSO is no good. We know it. So unique QSOs are going to get thrown out. And unique in this case doesn't mean just one. So if you think you can beat us by saying, "Yeah, I'm going to work Scott's team. I'm going to work who else is competing? John. I'm going to work those 2 teams as soon as I figure out who they are." Okay, unique means 2 now. And we're going to keep moving that number up until we finally get scores not changing around. So if you think you're going to fool us, you're not. But please work all the stations you can possibly work. They need the QSOs, and we want this to be fair. The world is watching us, right? This is the American WRTC, and the level of trust that many countries in the rest of the world have towards the United States is not exactly 100%. So we want this to be fair, not to just look fair, it's got to be fair. So play the game fairly, please. We are trying to promote the highest possible levels of sportsmanship and friendship. The competitors are going to be there, they're going to be rubbing elbows, they're going to be talking, they're going to engage in some adult beverages together, and after the contest, we don't want them throwing punches at each other because the Americans had, 1,000 more contacts than anyone else, and they were all W's, and they were all from the guys' club. We don't want that. We're taking this, by the way, as an excellent opportunity to promote ham radio to the public and showing that a competition like this that runs on the honor system with all the ethics and stuff that we talked about earlier really can still exist, will exist in America, and that we are the leaders in this kind of sportsmanship. Okay, so help us out. Thank you.
How was lunch? Good. I think every year the hotel has gotten a little better at doing the food service here, and of course along the way I've figured some stuff out, and some stuff works better than others. But the box lunch I think is about the perfect deal here. Welcome again to Contest University 2014. I'm Tim Duffy, K3LR, and we have an exciting afternoon for you. I wanted to go over just a couple of housekeeping items here. John Miller, are you in the house? John.
Thanks, Tim. I'm John, K6 Mike, and wearing my Northern California DX Foundation hat for the moment. You may have seen a press release on the CTU website where the foundation has joined forces with Tim for the foreseeable future. We wanted to try to promote contesting indirectly. We know that there's such a strong relationship between effective de-expeditioning, de-expeditioners, and contesting. Most people who go on de-expeditions have great contesting experience to back them up, the skills that are needed to manage pileups, to build a stamina, and learn about propagation. So, starting this year, we've offered free scholarships for CTU, anybody 25 years and under. My understanding from Tim is that there are 3 scholarship holders here today, is that right? If you have a scholarship, please stand up and introduce yourself. What's your name? Jenna, KJ4PQV. The other 2? Not here for the moment. At any rate, for the foreseeable future, we're going to continue this process, and it's a pleasure to work with you, Tim.
Thank you, John. Well, I want to thank all the members of the Northern California DX Foundation, and of course all the people that donate to the NCDXF Fund and the support to Contest University, now a multi-year program, is quite impressive, and we hope to expand the number of 25 and under participants as we move forward. Many of you are aware that there'll be another Contest University in July. This is a single classroom. This is at the ARL Centennial in Hartford, Connecticut, and this follows the week after WRTC. And there will be 6 sessions. They will be taught by many of the same instructors that you see here in Dayton. There will be new material, and we're very excited to have 2 contest universities going. There will be more details on the ARL website as well as on the Contest University website in the coming weeks as we get that put together. I'd also like to remind everybody, during Contest University in the past, you've seen presentations from the Youth DX program that is going on, N6JRL and his team that takes young people down to DX locations. I believe they're going to Papa Julia 2 Tango this year, and taking a number of young operators for their first experience in DXing and contesting. So we want to make sure that when you're out at HERA tomorrow, you stop by their booth, say hello, and make a donation if you feel inclined to help them out. All of the slide packages that are in your book, so all the slides that you see here today, will be online via the Contest University website. All you have to do, once they're posted, it might take me a week or 2 to get everything up there, but once they're posted, those are full color slides that you can download. You can also use them for club presentations and share them. It's my hope that you take the knowledge that you saw here today, or maybe you didn't get a chance to see a particular session, you'll have access to all those color slides online. If you didn't see, there was a pretty exciting announcement from Ameritron here about 24 hours ago. They just introduced a successor amplifier, which I think is going to be a great contest amplifier, to the ALS 1300, which was 160 meters through 10 meters. This is now the ALS 1306. It's 1200 watts on all bands, solid state, and works 160 through 6 meters. So anybody who has an interest in 6 meters, many of the radios today have 6 meters on them. This is a brand new product that will be shown out at HERA. So take a look for the 1306. There was a Nexus 7 tablet that was lost by K3TUF. And Phil, have you found that yet? If you've not found it, Phil is in the back. If you have happened to have picked up a Nexus 7 tablet by mistake, please let Terry or Jerry out at the front desk know, and we'll get it back to Phil. You will see a lot of follow-up about Contest University through the DX Engineering social media channels. If you're not signed up to follow us, DX Engineering on Twitter, there's a lot of Contest University timely information that gets posted on Twitter on the DX Engineering feed. Also DX Engineering on Google Plus and DX Engineering on Facebook. There's a lot of information that comes out on a daily basis about Contest University and other activities, so you may want to do that. If you're looking for contest dinner tickets, this is the banquet where the CQ Contest Hall of Fame inductions happen, and a lot of other fun stuff, over $20,000 worth of door prizes. It's a big night. It's held in the multiple ballrooms here. About 450 guys will gather, and ladies. If you are still looking for tickets, there's some guys that do have some spare tickets. I also have a couple of tickets left for sale. So if you want to do something really special on Saturday night, also there's still room at the Top Band dinner, which will be held here on Friday night. And you can get those tickets still online at topbanddinner.com. At 1:40 this afternoon, the repeat classes. So in Salon A, which is to my left, your right, is the N0AX Hints and Kinks. Ward Silver will give that presentation again. That was highly requested. In Salon B, here, Frank Donovan will be, W3LPL will be giving his Receive Antenna talk again. And in Salon CD, Bob Wilson, N6TV, will be talking about the Reverse Beacon Network, CW skimmers. DX cluster operations, so look for that over there. And in Harding, Ed Munn's W0YK will be giving his advanced RIDI presentation. B47JA, are you in the house? John, I missed you before as DX, Victor 47, Juliet Alpha. John, welcome. And when you go over to HERA tomorrow and Saturday, if you would stop by the Icom booth and find Diane Morrison or find Ray Novak and thank them profusely for helping us put on Contest University, I would sincerely appreciate it. So, what's the future of this whole thing look like? I was telling Doug, I said, you know, guys 30 years ago probably couldn't imagine spending a whole day before Dayton talking about just contesting. But we've done it 8 times now, and we're going strong. So 3,500 students have already gone through this program, and it continues to build steam. It's going on again in Germany at the end of June over in Friedrichshafen. So look for continued contest universities to happen. We're still trying to get one in Asia. I think it'll happen in China here in the next 2 years. So it's pretty exciting stuff that this format, this free-flowing format of sharing information is still gaining a lot of popularity. We do have the live stream that is going today. When I looked at it, over 100 people are watching online from all over the world. I've gotten emails from Oscar Zulu and Papa Alpha and G, and so lots of people all over the world are watching. I think last year we had Delta Lima 1 Queen was here. She's watching from her home in Germany as well. So lots of cool things happening via the web. One of the things that I find very interesting is afterwards I get emails about, geez, I wanted to ask this question. I wanted to, get a few minutes with Frank Donovan and ask him a question, but I didn't want to look stupid. And I can tell you that that's why we do this sort of thing. Or, that Bob Wilson, he sure's got that waterfall stuff figured out. I have a real basic question, and I don't want to look stupid in front of N6 TV. There are no stupid questions. The reason, it used to be you had to stand in the hallway and hope you stood next to somebody who was knowledgeable and that you could get close to ask questions. We brought all that together. I know it's a one-day deal. I know there's over 20 presentations. I know it's hard, but find those people. And if you don't find them here this afternoon, find them tonight. Come back to the Super Suite. Most all of the professors will be there, and ask those questions. I don't care how basic they are or how dumb you might think they are. Get that question answered, because we want you to learn. Everything that we know, almost 99% of what we know, we learned from somebody else. And if it wasn't for people like Frank Donovan helping me get started in the multi-multi game and helping me get started in high-level contesting, I wouldn't be doing it. And I can say that for a lot of people in here that have progressed through the ranks, and you forget how many people have helped you. So we're here to give back and to help you, because there's so many folks that are here for the first time. We're really excited about you gaining as much knowledge as quick as you can. And certainly the internet is a treasure trove of information. But there's nothing like that face-to-face contact. And that's what you get here in Dayton. Go up to somebody and introduce yourself and find out something new about a new friend. And you'll be amazed at what comes out of that. And, it's those things when I meet somebody new for the first time, that's how I learn. I learn more things here every year too. I mean, that's what's in it for us as professors, is we hear little bits and pieces of things that we hadn't heard before. So we get it too. It goes both ways. Gold stars. How many gold stars in here? How many have gold stars on your credentials? Big round of applause for people that have given back and given talks. The gold stars. And I'm really serious about giving back. I mean, get to a club meeting, and if you don't want to talk about contesting, that's okay. If you want to talk about rag chewing, you want to talk about 2-meter repeater operation, just get up and talk. Research something and be an expert. Get knowledgeable about a topic and be passionate about it and get after it. And I don't care if there's only 5 guys that come to the club meeting, get up there and say, listen, we're going to have a program this month, and I'm going to tell you about what I learned at Dayton and what I learned at Contest University. I know you guys don't do that, but it might help us on field day. And when you go to field day, don't just be that hotshot operator that sits down on 40 sideband and runs over 100 an hour. Teach the others how to do that. And then stand back and watch it go. Because once somebody shows somebody how to run fast rate and how not to say, well, thanks very much, and how was the weather there, and you guys got hot dogs on the grill too, and just move through the QSOs, it's amazing when they get it and the light comes on. We're back to that old coax connector thing. Boy, just when you think everybody's got it figured out, it comes back to that. And, Roger Cox, who was an engineer at High Gain for many, many years, he said that's the single biggest problem with high gain antennas is guys putting on coax connectors. Had nothing to do with his antennas, but it has everything to do with the success of your station. Again, it doesn't matter if you're rag chewing or if you're on 2 meters, if you're on, a mobile installation. If that coax connector is not done right, it's going to fail. It's a matter of time. And some coax connectors are put on wrong out of the gate. And why? Because nobody showed you or showed them a different method. And so, again, there are several ways to put on a PL259. and some work better for others. And I can only tell you what has worked well for me and some of my friends. I've gotten some emails that said, "My God, how could you take and make a mess of a PL 259 like that by putting that shield over the back? You ought to have your head examined." I think the last count, I sort of did a back of the envelope count. I've got over 1,000 PL 259s at K3LR, and none of them have failed. They might look ugly. I'm not going to win a beauty contest, but I'll tell you what, they flat out work. I know Frank has talked about this, but it's really important to have that notebook. If you're not an engineer, get a notebook. If you're an engineer and you don't have a notebook, shame on you. But you should have a notebook about what's going on in your station. And every time you make a change, you make some measurements, even if it's just basic VSWR measurements, put a date beside it, record what's going on with the VSWR across the bands that antenna is tuned to. And so you've got something to go back to. So you know if it changed, not if it got worse. If it got better, that's a problem too. So you add some water to that coax and it'll get better all the time. I consistently have, before the major contests, a proof of performance plan where I go through, it's the same ritual each time, checking every antenna, every coax jumper, every amplifier, looking for what has changed. That's what the proof of performance is. If it stays at the same level, then it's okay. If it got better or worse, something changed. So I'm always looking for change. And then question change. And then during the contest, keeping that notebook of all the ideas that fly in. Maybe it's a new antenna idea, or maybe it's something that you want to investigate. But I always keep a note card, and then I put that into the notebook for that contest. And in that way, those ideas and those problems that come up during the 48 hours or 24 hours of the contest, you're not forgetting. DX Engineering is introducing a new product here that I worked with W8WWV for 4 years on. And this product is the Receiver Guard 5000. And what that product does is it protects the front end of your receiver. It can take up to 50 watts into the input of your receiver and only deliver about 63 dB over S9. So it'll slam the meter, but this is real important for field days and for any type of multi-operator contesting where you've got antennas in close proximity. It's really a problem in the multi-multi game if you've got a lot of antennas close and you've got guys on multiple bands, or even in the 2-transmitter multi-multi game where you've got power coming down into receivers. And you know, that's been keeping the service departments at Yaesu and Kenwood and Icom really busy after every major contest because the receiver goes deaf. Now, the Elcraft K3 is has a smart front end where it actually will take and put on attenuators if it starts seeing RF coming down. But as K5RC learned here a few weeks ago, even that doesn't protect the front end of a K3. This RG5000 will turn around RF. It actually turns the RF around and sends it back out the antenna. And the great thing about it is it's not back-to-back diodes only, which create a bunch of harmonic trash, which can be the death of a multi-operator situation where you have multiple radios. It has clean limiting up to a point. Up to about 3 watts of power, it's very clean limiting. After 3 watts, you got to get after it hard, and then there are diodes that protect, but it's a very innovative protector that will keep you from burning up your front end. I've used it for now almost 4 years at K3LR and haven't had to send any of those expensive radios back to Icom. So as long as you have a receiver port on the back of your radio where you can break the receiver antenna out, or if you're using beverages, these can go in there, and it's, you know, it's less than $100 and it'll protect your receiver, and it's good stuff. Everybody has a real life, but if you're going to focus on and want to improve on contesting, be voracious about reading about it, whether it's on a lot of the online blogs or online newsletters. Stay up on it. Of course, the contest update that Ward Silver does every 2 weeks is just tremendous. The amount of information that's in there and the links that he provides, that's one of, if you're not signed up to that through the ARRL, get signed up to the contest update, because that's a great source. But also through the magazines, QST and NCJ, the National Contest Journal, is a treasure trove of information on contesting. So stay up to date. You've heard a lot of things about do the right thing, and I'm just going to emphasize that again. Not only is the world watching WRTC, but your friends watch what you do when you play this game. It is definitely on the honor system, and if you're skirting the rules and cheating the system, they see that too. You know, yeah, he does great in contests, but you know, he's got that 3,000 watts. No, that's not what you want to be known for. You want to be known for playing the game fairly. And if you do well, great. If you don't do well, that's okay. You're doing your best and getting better. This slide, I love this slide. This slide, it's very familiar. I saw this again. I visited Victor Papa 2 Victor back in January, and I met one of the locals down there who lent me a radio. He says, "Let me give you some jumpers, some coax jumpers to put, you know, the amplifier and the SWR meter," and every one of them looked like that. And I says, "Hey, guess what? I got a spare half hour, and I got a soldering iron in the car." And I said, "Let's solder those shields. How about it?" So we improved it. He says, "I didn't know you had to do that." See? These buggers here, the PL259, not every PL259 is created the same. And there are some real bargains out in the flea market that you're going to see tomorrow. And I hope you walk by every one of them. Don't get tempted. Geez, you can have 10 of these PL259s, 10 of them for $10. Oh yeah, here you go. Give me those. And you take those home, put them on, and they fail. Or you can't solder to them. Or the center pin is just slightly smaller. Oh, that's the best trick in the book. How many people carry around a micrometer when you're going through the flea market, you know? But these are two high quality Teflon centered PL259s, but they have very defining qualities to them because they are silver, so they will take solder very easily. And they also have these alignment pins that are precisely done to make sure that they fit with an SO239. And the center pin, when you put this into an SO239, a good SO239, they fit properly. And they don't just fall out. Except if you buy a bad SO239. This is a bad SO239. What makes it bad? Well, it corroded bad. But it also has a problem in the female part of the receptacle for the center pin is too big. And this will drive you nuts because it'll work for a little while and then it won't. And then it'll come back to life and it'll tease you and it'll go in and out and not work all the time. So again, when you put that PL259 into the SO239, UHF male to female, make sure that center pin gets grabbed. If it goes in easy, don't just take a solder blob. You know, I've seen, oh, I just need to add more solder to that center pin. No, don't do that. Let's do it the right way. Get a real SO239 from Amphenol. You can go onto the Mauser website and they deliver within a couple of days, and do it the right way, and then you won't have problems. You do it the wrong way, you'll have heating, you'll have loss, you'll have problems. Good quality connectors. And if you don't want to put the connectors on yourself, places like DX Engineering will put on connectors for you, and I guarantee you they are done the right way. I go down there once a week, and the folks that are making this, and all the folks that are making coax cable with the coax connectors are all licensed hams. Every ham at DX Engineering, or every employee at DX Engineering, is a ham. So they get it. They're on the air. They're doing what it takes to make good quality stuff. I still do this. I love doing this. I know that shield is really soldered. I can look at it. I can admire it. And I know that the signal is safe. It's going to stay inside that coax cable. So you get all these great ideas. Now this summer, go do something. You know, there's a lot of guys, you'll hear them in the hall and they'll say, you know, I'm going to put up 3 towers this summer. I'm going to put up 5 antennas on top of those towers, and I'm going to be big. And then he comes back the next year. He says, I'm going to put, this is the year. Just get something achievable and get after it. Maybe it's just 1 tower. Maybe it's a new dipole antenna. Maybe it's a vertical. Maybe it's putting down more radials. Maybe it's finally going out and putting a radial plate under there and soldering things together. Doing it the right way. But go out and improve your station. And then go help your buddy. Everybody we know has an antenna project that they would like to get done, but they need help to do it. Maybe they just need another pair of hands. Maybe they need somebody to climb a ladder. Be careful. Every summer we read about somebody who wasn't careful. Be careful. That's very important to make sure that you're not, listed in those dreaded pages of QST. No more SKs, and especially no accidents because of antenna projects this summer. So that's my story for this year, and I hope that you've had the opportunity to interact with as many people as you want. Dayton is still young. There's a lot of things to come. So you know what your breakout sessions are. Advanced RTTY and Harding, and N0AX and Hints and Kinks over in A. Frank Donovan and the receive antennas here in B. This is Salon B. And then over in CD is N6 TV. TV Bob is going to talk about CW skimmers and the reverse beacon network.
Okay, folks, I'm ready. If you're ready, I'll wait for the quieting down to happen. Folks, are we ready to start? Well, I'm going to wait a few minutes for the last few stragglers to come in. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to have quite a bit of time. So I'd like everyone